What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man, and this is BEM Episode 8 discussion slash review. And I must say, it is another banger episode. I love every episode of BEM, and I keep telling you guys, it is highly, highly underrated, and it is very slept on. I don't know why aren't more people talking about this anime, because it is absolutely fantastic. You have a problem in each and every episode, and you have a killer, and you have people that's going around murdering people, and it's all resolved at the end of the episode. And so it wraps everything up nicely, but there's always some nice underlying facts and more to the story that pushes the plot. So why aren't people talking about this? And it is an absolutely wonderful story, so people need to talk about this more, man. Let's get into it. Right off the bat, man, each and every episode is always a different episode. There was a couple that kind of ran together and they kind of stayed in the same thing, but this one was a completely different episode, and it was titled Noise, and we knew it was going to be about some ruckus. So, but this time it was about someone singing, and that someone was turning around, killing people, and taking out their vocal cords. Weird, but okay. So this episode picks up right after, man. It picks up right after, well, no, not right after anything. It picks up and it starts off. We see a bunch of kids in the gym. They're playing basketball. Sorry about the train. They're playing basketball, and we get introduced to this guy that's running around dribbling and shooting better than everybody else on the court. And it happens to turn out he's the one that's one of the main stars in this episode, and his name is Albert. And him and his mother just moved to town, and they were going to focus on him. Now, from the jump, I didn't trust Albert, but comes to find out that Albert wasn't the problem. It was his mother, which is weird. But let's go, man. We get into it, and all of a sudden Albert comes, aka Al, comes and introduces himself to Annabella while she's listening to music and singing, and he tells her she has a nice voice and that his mother always wanted to be a bird, and Annabella was telling him that, she singing makes her feel more human, and we all know that that's the premise of the whole show, that Annabella, BEM, and Bella wants to be more human. And Annabella was stating that singing makes her feel more human, and Al was like, well, my mom always said, well, birds sing, and my mom always wanted to be a bird. So it's just like, whatever floats your boat, and however singing makes you feel, that's what they were just going through. In Annabella's case, singing made her feel more human. So then we get on to the episode, and Al invites her to a party, and he wanted to introduce her to his mother. So then Annabella gets all giddy and happy-go-lucky, and they go shopping, and she's like fidgety, and she asks the other girls in her group to find her a dress to wear to Al's party, and they end up finding her a nice dress to wear to the party. But now this whole time we have the one guy in her class, I remember his name but I can't think of it, but we have the one guy in her class with glasses that's just absolutely in love with Annabella. And he wasn't going to go to the party until he found out Annabella was going to the party. And then in that whole time, they were at the party having a nice time. But before we got to the party, we see somebody end up getting killed by a bunch of noise, and it crushed all of the windows and her glasses, and then it crushed her insides as well, because like next thing you know, we saw blood just running out of her ears, and she fell down dead. And at that moment, as an anime watcher and TV watcher myself, I knew what the story was saying. I knew if it wasn't Al, it was going to be his mother, because they were the two characters we were introduced to this episode, and something was very fishy about his mother. So it's very weird, because I mean, like the whole time, like even when they were shopping, like they were looking at his mother, it was like, well, she's almost 50 and she looks like that. So there was like there was hints throughout the whole episode that led to it was his mother. So then we get to the party, and Al introduces her to his mother, and she listens to her sing, and then we have the same dude that's in love with Annabella stalking them and watching this whole thing transpire. But in that little time, this is what I want to focus on. We also see Annabella telling BEM and Bello how she's feeling, how her heart's fluttering, how her cheeks always turn red and warm. And this whole time, I love Bello, man. Dude, yeah, right. You acting all human with your emotions and stuff. I love dude. Dude was absolutely fantastic. And when he was rummaging through her bag and everything, and Ben was more concerned of what's going on, because he thought there was a problem, and it was no problem. It was her actually kind of having feelings for Al, and I like that. I'd actually like to see that happen. I mean, we all know what happened, so there can never be a relationship, but I liked for that possibility to have happened in this episode. And then at the same time, we find out that his mom also knows the crazy doctor guy that every other killer in the show happens to know, even though they came from out of town, or they just moved there or transferred to that school. They didn't really say out of town, so I mean, like, they probably maybe lived in Upper. I mean, well, they were in Upper. They probably lived like on a different side of Upper. So then they came to their school, so that's how, and everything. But what was confusing to me is she was this monster. She got turned into this singing monster for some reason, only to focus and sing better, or to never lose her job or something. I don't know. But the monster she turned to, let's be real, was purely ugly. I mean, like all of the other monsters, they were, you know, like they had like different quirks and stuff and everything, and they looked weird. But like, she was just straight ugly. I mean, the very first monster we got introduced to, like the water killing guy, I mean, he was weird, but like he just deformed his whole body. Like she could turn and transform just like BEM and Bello could, and Annabella. So it's very weird as to like some of these killers can actually transform as well, but I'm assuming she wasn't a part of the mysterious assassins group, which is weird. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's what this show, how can you not love this show? There's so much going on, and every time you watch something, like, you get, like, the whole show wraps up and in that episode. That whole episode wraps up in that episode. But like, there's so much more underlying facts in the whole show that's just superb, man. I don't know why aren't people talking about this. So then we get to the fact that Al took Annabella to meet his mom at the auditorium, and she went in there. Al, you stay outside. And she was straight trying to kill Annabella. And that's when she transformed, and we saw what she looked like. Her lips was this big and red, and she was like this big black and white head and everything. It was weird, but we knew she wasn't going to get my girl Annabella. But she was mollywopping Annabella for a little bit, but then Annabella transformed and was trying to save Al because he rushed in and heard all of the noises and everything. Dude, she killed the 2 producers that was watching her sing the other day. There was a bunch of stuff that was going on in this episode. And also, we found out that the cops found out she was the killer because there was a camera that showed everything. Like, how are you a serial killer running around killing people and not suspicious of cameras? But that's just another greatness of the episode, man. Then we come in contact with the part of her actually trying to kill Annabella, and she shouting off her noise powers and stuff, and she brings down the ceiling on her, which was very nice. Like, get it, bringing down the house when she's like, she was an opera singer. It was a nice, you get what I'm saying. It was like, she's bringing down the house. She brought down the house. So then at that time, the cops come in, and Al sees Annabella standing up there and thinks that the monster killed his mother, and he just calls her a straight monster. But at the end of the episode, and the most wonderful part of this episode, besides like that very ending part, is when the guy that's in her class with the glasses sees her, takes a picture, and calls her beautiful. That's all she ever wanted, and it happened, and that's why I'm losing my stuff, because it was absolutely great, man. And then we get to see them in class the next day, and he's looking at the picture. Oh, it's creepy, but he's looking at the picture like, oh, what a wonderful body. And then she walks in and was like, you have weird taste, but she like, I like it. And then she smiles and tosses the phone back to him and stuff. It was great. And then we see the mysterious being in the doctor's office wake up and come to life, and I'm thinking that in the next episode, or in the episode after that, it's going to come in contact with BEM, Bello, and Annabella, and there's going to be a huge fight, which I'm hoping is, because I'm super excited, man. But that's all that pretty much happened this episode. I loved every single moment of it. This is your boy, Dick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button so you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember, anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life. And people need to talk about BEM. That's just what it is, and facts, man. Peace out.